What's up, everyone? Tony at Hollywood Cold Case here, and today we're going to be discussing the tragic and untimely deaths of Bruce and Brandon Lee. Now, grab this picture here because, like I said, being a father to two boys myself, when you see the bond between father and son, it's something you can't describe. It's something you can't describe, and it's so tragic to think that both of these men would be gone years and years and years before they should have been. Now, I'm going to get started on this case right now. If you, whatever your opinion is on the mysterious deaths of Bruce and Brandon Lee, leave me a comment on down below. Let me know what you think. Now, let's get started here. The deaths of Bruce and Brandon has gained almost as much popularity as their films. Despite their apparent simplicity, both were shrouded in mystery. This mystery inspired numerous conspiracy theories, such as curses and murder by the Triad. So what's the reality behind the deaths of Bruce and Brandon? When Bruce Lee was born, his father was a Chinese opera singer touring the United States. Lee was christened Jun Fan and born in San Francisco on November the 27th of 1940. The young man's birth in the year of the dragon was extremely regarded as kind of a coincidence. In life, he earned the nickname he was nicknamed Little Phoenix. In 1941, the family relocated back to Hong Kong. As early as age 3, he was already appearing in films. He'd appeared in around 20 films by the time he was a teenager. While staying in Hong Kong, he studied both dance and Wing Chun, a form of Kung Fu. Bruce returned to the United States in 1959 and attended the University of Washington. During this time, he also founded a martial arts school in Seattle. Brandon would be taught by one of his earliest students. He married Linda Emery in 1964, and 1 year later, she gave birth to Brandon Lee, their first child. As Kato in the Green Hornet, Bruce got huge recognition. Their daughter Shannon was born in 1969, expanding their family. Bruce believed that relocating the family to Hong Kong in 1970 would help him acquire better film roles. This idea was accurate, as in 1973 he starred in the film Enter the Dragon, which grossed $200 million worldwide. Unfortunately, the success of the movie was not realized until after his passing. Bruce Lee wasn't able to achieve this level of success during his lifetime. Bruce Lee passed away on July the 20th, 1973 from a brain aneurysm. The bleeding was caused by painkillers that he'd gotten from a friend. Bruce was hospitalized for seizures and migraines 2 months prior. He was stable and later diagnosed with edema. Despite his recovery, he was still having headaches. While working on a new project, he told a friend that he had a headache, at which point they gave him just a regular, basic painkiller. Bruce went upstairs to take a nap. When he didn't show up for dinner, everyone was wondering where he was. He was discovered dead on his bed. Bruce Lee was returned to the United States to be buried in Seattle. How could a simple muscle relaxant kill someone that was in the shape that Bruce Lee was in? This is a question many have asked over the years, as there have been issues regarding whether Bruce was alone or not at the time of his passing, or, was he possibly with someone else in the room? Was he having an affair? Was there someone, it's just been a question mark that often been wondered throughout the years. Why wasn't an ambulance called immediately upon finding that he was not responsive? Now, these are some of the questions that have been asked over the years. And was it murder instead of just an unfortunate death? His final screenplay was modified after his passing. The producers and writers included new scenes. Numerous film enthusiasts draw parallels between these sequences with the death of Brandon Lee 20 years later. Brandon Lee was born on February the 1st, 1965 in Oakland, California. He divided his life between the United States and Hong Kong. His father began teaching him martial arts when he was young. Young Brandon would visit his father on his film sets, and he acquired a passion for martial arts, as well as acting. Brandon was 8 years old when his father passed away. As a teenager in the U.S., his father's death forced him to grapple with his identity. His attitude was affected, and he decided to leave school early prior to graduating. He then decided to pursue an acting career in New York. During this time, he trained in acting as well as martial arts and battle choreography. His first break came when he acted alongside Dolph Lundgren in the film Legend of Rage. He appeared in numerous other films that earned mixed reviews. Many believe that his casting as the lead character in The Crow would launch his career. The Crow was a cult classic based on a comic book of the same title. The film focuses on the murder of musician Eric Draven. Draven has been resurrected to avenge his and his fiance's deaths. Although Brendan was killed during the making of the Crow, the film was finished utilizing digital technology and discarded portions. As said earlier, it's gained massive cult success over the years. Numerous accidents plagued the Crow, with Brendan's death being the last fatality. A worker got electrocuted and an employee smashed their automobile through the studio wall during filming. In addition, bad weather had damaged the set, and the film's publicist had been involved in a small car accident themselves. Yet none of these incidents could have prepared them for the final one that was yet to come. During the scene in which Draven confronts the murderers of his fiancée, he's shot in the stomach. In order to heighten the film's realism, the props department opted to create their own fake bullets. They removed the bullet's gunpowder, but neglected to remove the primer. As a result, when the rifle was fired, the bullet became lodged in the barrel, which the props department failed to notice. Brennan was shot when the gun misfired, with a gun that misfired, sending the bullet into his stomach. Brandon was transported to the hospital where he endured hours of unsuccessful surgery. Upon his passing, he left behind his fiancée, whom he was getting ready to marry once the film was done, as well as his mother and sister. He was buried alongside his father in Seattle. Again, additional questions were asked regarding the incident, and irregularities were emphasized. How was the accident permitted to occur, and why did the props department make its own bullets? Was one of the questions. Why did a different doctor sign off on the autopsy than the one who performed it? Finally, numerous conspiracy theorists have questioned why there's no footage of the shooting. This question can be answered by the police department, which seized and destroyed the tape out of respect for the family. Over the years, theories of a curse have grown. This, with the passing of Brandon 20 years after his father. Some claim the Lee family erected a home on sacred territory. As a result, 3 male Lees were murdered. Unknown factors led to the death of Bruce Lee's brother before his birth. Theorists will bolster this claim by citing the spiritual and superstitious nature of the Lee family. Bruce Lee allegedly had a premonition of his own death. He remarked once that he expected to live half as long as his father. His father died at the age of 64, while Bruce was 32. He claims he foresaw his son's early death. Popular amongst theories was the notion that the Chinese mafia, the Triads, had murdered both Bruce and Brandon. Bruce's sharing of his martial arts skills infuriated them. They claimed he betrayed his cultural heritage. Additionally, Bruce refused to pay them protection money. Bruce was supposedly murdered by a single strike to the head, and then the prop gun that killed Brandon had been tampered with. Many of these theories are based on illogical, minute details. When celebrities die unexpectedly, these theories always seem to develop. They have more to do with the grief process and refusal to acknowledge these individuals are gone. Both tragedies prompted many to consider their own mortality. Shannon Lee Emerly, martial arts expert and businesswoman, and actress for that matter, is the sole surviving child of the Lee family. She followed in the footsteps of her brother and father, starred in numerous series, as well as the science fiction show Epic. Now, with each and every conspiracy theory we can throw out there, I could probably make an hour-long series about this. I've heard them all over the years. But, I mean, it's really safe to say that we never really got to see where Brandon Lee's career could have gone. For that matter, what Bruce Lee would be today had he survived, had he had the opportunity to live on and for years on end bring the type of fighting and just smoothness and skill that you've seen in each and every one of his movies just made look effortless. Now, what do you think happened in the cases of Bruce and Brandon Lee? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I want to thank you for tuning in today. Now, here at Hollywood Cold Case, we feature cases such as this, cases from yesteryear, and just go into great detail on some of these cases, be it mysterious deaths to unsolved mysteries and murders. Now, once again, as I try to pump this out to you as much as I possibly can, hit that subscribe button. I want to thank you all so much for viewing today. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.